Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1079. Happy Thursday. It's the last Hobby Evolution until next week, Monday. I'll be heading down to the Cubs convention, dodging weather. Whew. We had another front move in last night. Another 2 inches of snow fell. I will have to go out and snowblow again later this morning. It'll be the fourth snowblow of the week. And then we have an even bigger snowstorm coming in Friday, like I think late tonight into Friday. We're supposed to get even more than the 9 inches we got earlier this week. I jinxed it because somebody out on the East Coast was talking about two. I'm like, we never have 2 feet of snow. And now we're going to get dumped with 2 feet of snow in a week. So I think it's been, I haven't, this is just anecdotal, just me speaking from my terrible memory, but I don't recall having this much snow dumped in a week I don't know if ever since I moved to Madison. Maybe there has been a couple times, but in the 10 years that I've been here, I don't remember getting this much snow in such a short amount of time in 3 different storm systems. So I think this is good. Chicago's supposed to get hit hard again. Well, I say again, I think the suburbs got hit pretty hard. I don't think the city got any snow the other day. But Chicago's supposed to get hit hard with this snowstorm this weekend. A lot of people are canceling. One of my Club 400 group chat, one of the guys, I think he was scheduled to drive in from Memphis. He canceled his trip. A lot of people are canceling their trips to the Cubs convention because of this blizzard that's coming. So I'm selfishly excited about that because it means less people. Cubs convention is always super crowded. So maybe the weather keeps a lot of people away. It's still going to be crowded regardless, but a few extra bodies will certainly help in my case, being selfish. So I told my wife, I'm reading the forum, I'm like, you might want to give Olson Tune a call because we're supposed to get even more snow this weekend than what we got earlier this week. So, because I won't be back until Sunday night. There's nothing worse than coming home, and this has happened to me twice, which I guess isn't too bad in 41 years. The first time actually was very helpful. My neighbor, this is what was helpful was my neighbor in Macomb. My neighbor actually owned a landscaping business, and part of the landscaping business, what do you do when you own a landscaping business in the Midwest? Well, you winter by snow plowing. So we had, this was like one of those 1.5-foot snowstorms. This is like once in a multi-decade snowstorm that hit our area in Macomb back in 2009, I want to say 2009, 8, 9, 10. I talked about the Illinois High School Sports Network. I was running that and working out of Monmouth. So it had to be between 2009 and 11. So in that vicinity, because there's a picture of, so much snow fell that there was no parking spaces. And so I'm at the radio station and, we're like, have to report on what's going on. So we're there super early. And I parked, like, it was the radio station in Monmouth's downtown. And I parked on the sidewalk, like right. And I've got my IHSSN magnet on my Explorer at the time. So when I came home, when I lived in Macomb, and I stayed in a hotel in Monmouth for a couple nights during that blizzard. When I got home, of course, almost 2 feet of snow on the ground. Where am I going to park? Fortunately, my neighbors were plowing my driveway. So I'm like, oh, thank God. Second time, so that was like fortunate. Second time, though, was coming back from Florida, which my wife on Tuesday will be leaving for Florida. Lucky her. So I would go down when we first started dating. We would go down to, well, kind of together. She would go down for like a couple weeks, and then I would come down for a week, and then we would fly back together. And so one of the years I flew back like earlier, I think, and we had just got a snowstorm, and like there's nowhere to park, and like you're trudging through a foot of snow. You got to get to the garage and fire up the snowblower while your car is out in the street. Ugh, that's the worst, man. There's a lot of things worse than that, but when you're in that situation, it's like nothing can get worse than this. So a lot of snow this week, which hopefully keeps some people away from Cubs Convention, man, this week. The title, because I'm lazy and I don't have anything to talk about today, although I see some comments in the chat about Cardi the Pro. I do know a couple people had signed up recently, so we'll touch on that. But the Cubs baseball card count, I had some mail days this week. 993,166 is the latest count. So we're getting there, man. We're getting there. So the Cubs cardometer has been updated, and it'll be at Cubs Convention this weekend. The Cubs Convention this weekend, man, is going to be a clusterfuck, okay? Not because of the weather, but the new way of doing autographs. So they announced like a month ago when they were unveiling the schedule, there's not going to be autograph vouchers. And for those not familiar with Cubs Convention, the like big name players were only available for autographs, like in the autograph lines, if you had a voucher. So you're talking like, back in the day, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Javi Baez, like they weren't in like the free autograph lines, but there also wasn't a charge either. They came in your check-in pack. So when you check into the Cubs Convention, they give you a swag bag. It's got a calendar, a pocket schedule, a couple other little, paper coupons for Giordano's, shit like that, and a voucher. So I'll pull a pull tab. And so you pull the tab, and it's usually $5 off at the Cubs team store. I know this because I've had, how many Cubs conventions have I been going to? 8 or 9, and 7 or 8 of those 8 or 9, I've gotten $5 off at the team store. But that's also one time I got a pull tab of Cole Hamels. So that was actually nice. And you go through the line, you can get a quick picture, get an autograph, and go about your day. So that kind of alleviates lines, because if there were no lines, let me tell you this about the Cubs Convention. For those that are not familiar with the Cubs Convention, fans are crazy, okay? Especially when it comes to meet and greets, autographs. So like Dansby Swanson, we'll have a meet and greet. There will be a line forming tonight to pay $300 for a meet and greet with Dansby Swanson. That's kind of how it, so if it's free, imagine that. People will camp out for autographs. So when it comes to that, I'm like, I take the path of least resistance. There's usually 5 or 6 stages in the main autograph. Fuck, it's just soccer cards. 5 or 6 cards in the main autograph area. This year, they're doing a season ticket holder line, 2 lines at the hotel just across the street, the Lowe's. That's where the current players stay. It's like literally a 2-minute, not even a 2-minute. It's a 45-second walk. Fortunately, one of my roommates, there's 3 of us that room. One of them is a season ticket holder, so he checks in, so we get all the season ticket holder benefits. So that'll be an option. And then there's a season ticket holder lounge that also has autograph signings throughout the day. So that hopefully alleviates some of the lines as well. Last year was a clusterfuck. And they did do vouchers, but they also had a lot of like current players. Maybe it was a test to see like, okay, let's see if we could do the no voucher thing and and still kind of make this without like breaking 700 fire codes. And it was a giant like you couldn't, if you wanted to go see Ray Burris, who's not going to have that big of like half the line. But there's lines everywhere. It's like, is this the Ray Burris line? No, it's 9 a.m. We're in the 2:00 line for somebody. So this year there's no vouchers and F-bomb. Thank you, Orlando. This year there's no vouchers, and they said, this is what they say. They say they are going to only do holding areas 30 minutes ahead of each autograph schedule. Well, that's going to go over like something bad, right? I predict fights, maybe not like full-on brawls, but there's certainly going to be heated arguments tomorrow or Saturday. There's certainly going to be heated arguments, which may or may not lead to physical altercations. That would not surprise me. What's going to happen is at 9 a.m. when they open the doors, I'm getting in line for Ben Zobrist at 1:00. And then, so there's like this kind of temporary holding area. And then once 12:30 hits and they start forming the line, I was here first. It's going to be like Target during the pandemic for blaster boxes. That's what it's going to turn into. It's going to be a giant shit show, and I'm going to be there for it. So I'm going to make sure my phone's out. I got to bring like a thing so I can film this shit. It's going to be whack. So get ready for it. Cubs convention weekend. Let's go to the chat. Y'all are probably tired of me here talking about the Cubs convention, and you're going to hear more of it on Monday. Shane's in the house. What's going on, Shane? He says the Car Dealer Pro experience went terrible, but it was my fault. LOL. Scanned over 100 cards, saved as a PDF instead of JPEG, so all my scans disappeared after saving them. So did you scan them? So my question is, did you scan them? Were they already on your computer, or did you save them as a PDF from your scanner? Because I don't know how you would lose. Like, you shouldn't lose them. I don't think. I don't know, but I guess it depends on how you did it. Donald Davis is in the house. What's up? Good morning. Red Light 34 is here. Good morning. He says, hit the like button. Thank you. Mark Marinello, good morning. He says, have a safe trip. Thank you. I should beat we got some snow last night, but by the time I head out today, later this morning, 11:30 when I take off, roads will be clear. And then our the next system isn't supposed to come in until late tonight. So I've got about an hour and 20 drive to the train. And then it's all train from there. I do, however, need to remember I don't keep a ice scraper in my car because I really don't go anywhere. And then you don't realize, like, you park in the garage and you don't need an ice scraper. And if you don't really travel anywhere, you don't need an ice scraper until you need it. You don't need it until you need it. And then it's like, oh, shit. The one time a year that you need it. Cubs convention. There's going to be a foot of snow on top of my car on Sunday afternoon. So I'll hop on the train. I think it's a 1:20 train. And then I'll get down to downtown Chicago about 3. And then take a cab over to the hotel for check-in. It is, so I got my confirmation email from the hotel. They're like, if you want to park, parking is available for $68 a night. When I said that yesterday, I'm like, because I thought it was $70. And I'm like, no, it can't be that much. It is. It's $68 a night. So I'm like I'm like, that's $200. If I wanted to drive, like, say I wanted to save money on trains and cabs, I'll just drive in. I don't have to worry about the train. I can now it would be easier. I don't have to haul like a huge backpack, a freaking roller. I'm taking a case of beer and a case of Gatorade. That's how we roll at Cubs convention. So it's just a pain in the ass. It is lighter unless I buy a bunch of shit, which I haven't really bought much. It's kind of been hasn't been much to buy since they took out outside vendors a couple of years ago. $204 to park. Jesus. My train ticket's going to be, so gas, I'm actually saving on gas because I'm only driving essentially halfway there. I'm saving on tolls because if I drove downtown, I'd end up paying like 20 there and 20 back in tolls. Actually, it's a little less than that because the iPass. So say it's $20. And I think it's more than that, but just say it's $20. $20 in tolls plus whatever gas. My train tickets, $10, $10 down, $10 back. I think it's $9.50. And then my cab after tip, about $15 each way. And then I don't really leave. Like if I leave, it's to go across the street to, I can never remember the bar's name. I call it Lizzie McGuire's. It's something very similar. It's an Irish pub. It's right across from the hotel, the Sheraton. Sometimes I'll go to Walgreens to get snacks, but I went to Target yesterday to get snacks, beer, Gatorade. I do need water. I might just grab a couple bottles. They have a lot of like water fountains throughout the show. So like the Culligan things. So I might just buy a couple bottles at a gas station on the way down today and then just reuse the bottles. Be green. So like $204. Like my travel is, so plus the extra gas, whatever that is, just say it's $10. So 204, 214, $20 in tolls, 220, 214, 234, $234 just in travel and parking. I do have to pay I pay like $6 in parking at the train station. So 10 there, 10 back, $20. Cab another 30, $50. And parking $6. So what's that? $56, $60. So it's a lot less just to take the planes, trains, and automobiles. Shane says, without thinking, I did my usual and sleeved all the cards. Went back to the computer to upload to CDP only to realize that I can't use my scans because of PDF. All scans are now gone. Now I have to scan, rescan, and unsleeve and resleeve everything I did. Got annoyed and put the cards away for the night. That would be annoying. So I scan all my cards raw. And unless it's a shiny, if it's like a chrome of a big name play, if it's a chrome like Kevin Biggio $1.75 card, I don't worry about it. But if it's a chrome like Sapphire, Jason Dominguez, I will make sure to sleeve that. But I scan everything raw. Donald Davis has submitted multiple cards from my eBay store that have been scanned raw that he's sent into tag rating and they've received Gem Mint 10s. So doesn't scratch. No scratching. And then when I put them away, I just make sure they're not like moving around in the boxes for my inventory. So I only sleeve when I'm getting ready to ship. Victor's in the house. Good morning. Billy Joe is here. What's happening? Corey Garcia, good morning. Greg Lopez in the house. He says, do I have to scan a card with the Card Dealer Pro app for the cards to be recognized? No. Because I have them scanned to my computer to import them, but none are being recognized. I have to manually input. So let me see if I have. So basically, I don't do any of that. Like I don't use Card Dealer. So let's do some random. I said Kevin Biggio because I had a card right there. So we're going to take these cards right here. So basically, if you're not familiar with how Card Dealer Pro and Rico, the scanner, they're not the same thing. Like I know it gets confused on the Facebook ads that they're running, that people are like, they think the scanner is like the software or it's connected somehow. It's not. It's they're two completely separate things. So basically, when I scan my cards using the Rico, it scans them to I save them to my computer. So they're saved into a folder on my computer. It looks like I might have already had. Oh, no, I didn't. So basically, here's what I do. Let's open up Car Dealer Pro. So I scan them in using the Ricoh scanner. Let's go back. Oh, we want to share the screen. So I'm in Car Dealer Pro. Share screen, CDP. So am I logged in? Okay. Am I sharing my screen? Yes. Okay. Let's pump it up. Okay. All right. So batch name, we're going to do CDP HE test. Okay. So these are baseball. Boom. Baseball. And I'm on, this is the website. I don't use the app. I use the website. I work out of the website. So these are my templates. Continue. I do everything is excellent. My sale price, just type in $1.75. We'll create the batch. Then add cards to your batch. Magic Scan is scanning them from your computer, or you can search the database and use stock images essentially. So we're gonna do front and back, and here we go. Oh, I did. So we'll just do this. These. There you go. And boom. David Dahl, David Wright, Freddie Freeman. So, and it looks like it nailed. Sometimes with Allen and Ginter, it recognizes a base card as the silver portrait, which is a really easy click. So what you do, say this Freddie Freeman shows up as a base, but it's actually the silver portrait. If you go over here, and this is in the inspector view, if you go down to 2 other possible matches, typically it comes up. So there you go. Oh, that's not the base, it's the silver portrait, vice versa. Go back here, and it disappeared because I chose it, but usually it shows up. David Wright, 4 other sometimes it does matches. If it doesn't, say, well, this isn't David Dahl, this is Freddie Freeman. So you go in Freddie Freeman 2020 Ginter, and there it is. Boom. So there you go. Where are we at? Just George, what's happening? Good evening to George in South Korea. David, what's going on? I just want to thank you for keeping did you know the human head weighs 8 pounds, Jerry Maguire kid haircut alive in 2024? That's right. I've been rocking this hairstyle for 20 years. I'm going to keep it going until I'm going to be like 80 years old, and I'm still going to rock this haircut. Cooter, what's up? Good morning. Collector's Dream is in the house. Orlando, what's up? Neil's here. Good morning. The Bill Belichick era. How about that? Not only is the Bill Belichick era over, the Pete Carroll era is over in Seattle. The Nick Saban era is over in Alabama. This has got to be, in football head coaching, like, has there ever been like a black, what day is it? A Black Wednesday, such as we had in college football yesterday, and I guess the NFL with Pete Carroll. Well, football head coaching, 2 NFL, one college. It's almost like, I feel like they should. Did they all like plan this? Like, hey, we're going to retire and we're going to start a TV series where we're 3 grumpy old men, kind of like what was the show? Terry Bradshaw and like 3 other guys. They're like in retirement and they're just traveling around. That's what they're going to do. They're going to go to football games, and we're going to see the other side of these guys. John's in the house. What's going on? He says, I find it interesting that there is a fairly decent-sized card show the same weekend as the Cubs convention. Do the promoters notice a reduction in attendees to the card show, Rockford? So the Rockford's not, I mean, it's a decent-sized show. I think the Rockford show's 80 tables. There's a Bridgeview show on Sunday, which I think is about the same. The Rockford card show, I mean, first of all, Rockford is probably an hour and a half. Yeah, an hour and a half from downtown Chicago. People in Chicago don't go to Rockford, except for Victor. People in Chicago are like, I'm not going. They don't want to go to Naperville. Like, we're not leaving the city. So from that standpoint, like there's a few diehards that come to the Rockford show that are from the area. I had a regular customer. Once there started to become more card shows in Chicago and the suburbs surrounding Chicago, I did have a regular who was from Joliet. But then there became a lot of shows in Chicago, and so he doesn't need to come out to Rockford anymore. No, I mean, obviously I won't be in Rockford this weekend, which normally if it fell last weekend or next weekend, I would be there. As far as like the dealers, see, I don't know, customer wise, there may be a couple people that would go that will not be going. I really honestly don't think there's going to be too much. I don't know if Jenny's in here, but the end of this month, the same day as the Madison Card Show on January 27th, there are two big shows in Minnesota, which happen to fall on the same Saturday as Twins Fest, which apparently that sounds like it's going to affect it more than what Cubs Convention affects card shows around Chicago. Because I've seen in a couple different groups, there's the, I think it's Lacrosse. Is it Lacrosse or Eau Claire is January 27th? I think it's Lacrosse. And then also the Minnesota card show, I think it's the one Jenny always goes to, is also that day, Saturday, January 27th. And I've seen multiple comments in Facebook groups. Well, that's the same day as Twins Fest. But for the Cubs convention, it doesn't really affect. Maybe it would affect those shows like close by. But it like I don't see, and I've been going to Cubs convention for 8 or 9 years now. And, you know, I do the Rockford Card Show on a regular basis. Like, I don't see any of the same faces. Like, I bet I don't see a single face I recognize from card shows at Cubs convention. I'm even trying to think. Like Alex, who I'll autograph with tonight. I've seen him at he lives in Rockford. I've seen him at like one card show in the last 2 years. He's an autograph guy. He's not a card guy. And I think that's kind of a lot of, you compare like when you talk about, say, the Chicago Sports Spectacular. Well, it's not really a card show. It's a autograph show. People will say that. Well, it's more of an autograph show than a card show. And there's like, it seems like you're one or the other. Like you're either a memorabilia / autograph guy or you're a card guy. I happen to fall into both because I'm just a hoarder. I fall into both, but I skew obviously cards. But Cubs convention, there's not a lot of card people there. I had planned on doing I'm in multiple Cubs convention group chats, Facebook groups, because I'm a nerd. And there's nobody talks about cards in the Cubs convention groups. Nobody talks about cards. Because I even had thought about doing a trade night, kind of just a random, hey, I'm going to be in the hotel lobby. I've got some duplicate Cubs that I want to trade. Bring your cards. Let's trade Cubs. And then I wasn't organized and there really wasn't any interest. There's just not many card guys that are at the Cubs convention. Are there yet, in my Cubs collector group, which skews cards, there's a couple guys that are into cards. And one's traveling in from Des Moines, Iowa. One's traveling in from, where's the other one? Central Illinois. Glendon's in there. Of course, he's part of Cubs alumni. He's coming in from, I think he lives in the Louisville area. John says, I think we'll need time to unpack the Belichick era. That's a good point. That is a really good point because we've seen the Bill Belichick era sans Brady, and it's not good, both before Brady and after Brady. But the during Brady era was pretty damn remarkable. Sure, Brady is the GOAT, but maybe Bill Belichick had to spend too much time training a successor and other areas suffered. Belichick also may have been too stubborn. I think there probably was a little stubbornness to Bill Belichick. But yeah, I mean, is he still a Hall of Fame coach? I mean, yeah, because you can say the same about Phil Jackson. Well, he had Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen in Chicago. He had Shaq and Kobe in L.A. But I mean, he was still the coach. Well, you could put anybody in there and they'd win rings. Well, he was the guy there, and nobody else was. So, but as far as his legacy, I think he's forever going to be. I don't think we'll think of Bill Belichick as one of the greatest coaches, as opposed to, I think we'll think more of him as one of the winningest coaches. And it's going to be hard to talk about Belichick's greatness without the mention of Tom Brady. Thinking he could turn Mac Jones into Tom Brady. Yeah, he didn't have a magic wand. Bill Belichick did not have a magic wand. He realized that, said, I'm done. Tony's in the house. He says, working for Louisville Slugger, I went to 3 Cubs conventions. They are nuts, and the bingo people are insane. I hate bingo. I am very much in the minority of Cubs convention goers that hate bingo. I do tell newcomers to the Cubs convention, I hate bingo, but try it. Don't take my word for it, because most people love it. Experience it. It is an experience, and it's something that you just have to do and make the decision on your own. Don't let other people sway you. That's what I say about Cubs convention. I saw somebody, there's always first timers that they're posting in these Cubs convention groups, like, what should I do? How should I maximize my time? And so my best advice, it's almost like the National. Just go in with low expectations. Go in with super low expectations. You're not going to get to meet Dansby Swanson. You're not going to get to meet Ryan Sandberg or Billy Williams. You're going to get autographs of Tim Stoddard and Bobby Dernier. So make the most of it. Try to take in as much as you can. Do the autograph lines. Do the sessions. Mark down. We have the app. We have a map. Mark down this session looks interesting. I'm going to go sit in on this session. Go down the next hour. Try the autograph line for an hour. Shop around. Walk around. And eventually what sticks. So the first 2 years, why I hate bingo the most is because you are waiting in line for like 3 hours. Guess what Bo doesn't do? Wait in lines, except for the autograph lines. And you're just there. It's like you're packed in like sardines. They open the doors and it is a foot race. I'm surprised nobody's been seriously injured. I know there's been injuries in the race to get tables, because what happens is people wait to get these tables at bingo and they save spots. So what happens is 2 people race to a table to save 8 other chairs. And they put the chairs. No. And so then if you're just kind of like you and a couple buddies, say there's 3, you don't have a group for a table. Now you've got to go find 3 open chairs. And so at the end of the rush, there's all these people like looking around, like there's 2 people here. There's 3 people here. Got to sit together. It's just a pain in the ass. I did that for 2 years, maybe even my first 3 years at Cubs convention. Finally, I'm like, this fucking sucks. It is a giant F-bomb bingo. Fuck that noise. Not only that, if you don't get up to that level where the ballroom level is, if you don't get up there by a certain time, it's like 5 o'clock or 5:30, there's so many people already waiting that it's a fire hazard, and they shut off the escalators. So then there's a line that forms in the hotel lobby bar that like wraps around just to get on the escalator to get in to the area that there's not even enough room for people. Fuck that. So what I did, I think finally I realized this sucks. Fuck bingo. And I'm like, I'm just going to drink beer in the hotel bar. I did learn after that night, it's expensive, and I bring my own beer. But in the hotel bar that night, it was like the best night ever, because everybody's at bingo except for Bobby Dernier and Larry Bittner and Tim Stoddard and Gary Matthews and Ray Burris and like a dozen former Cubs just hanging out at the bar. Fortunately, one of my buddies is like buddies / autograph handler for a couple of these guys. And so I'm hanging out with all these Cubs, drinking beer at CubsCon, wearing Bobby Dernier's World Series rings with John's Phillies. Dernier also has a Cubs World Series ring because he's like an ambassador. So he's got 2 World Series rings. So Cubs bingo, thumbs down for. But if you've never done it, if you've never experienced, I think you just have to experience the craziness that it is. And T206 kid nails it. Bingo people are insane. A lot of F-bombs dropped about Cubs bingo. Yeah, so you'll find me in the hotel lobby during Cubs bingo Saturday night. Mark says, I look back fondly of the 2-day tenure of Bill being the head coach of the New York Jets. That time was so Jets. Talking Tati says, good morning. Could you please go over the new Windows scanner app Car Dealer Pro just released? I haven't had a chance to review. No, I cannot because I've never used it. I've never used it. I don't even know how to access it. Oh, my scans did. When I logged into Car Dealer Pro, it said I had 0 of 0 scans. I'm like, that's not right. I don't even know where the is this it? Download CDP desktop app. Okay. No, I can't review it because I've never used it. So maybe I'll try it out just to see. Somebody on Twitter. I wonder if I can find it. Somebody on Twitter thinks I'm like employed by Car Dealer. I'm not employed by Car Dealer Pro. The only kickbacks I get from Car Dealer Pro are when you use my promo code Cubs, you'll get 500 free scans when you sign up for any paid subscription. So use that, cardealerpro.com, promo code Cubs. That's the only kickback I get from Car Dealer Pro. I'm not not on their payroll. I don't get free scans. I have a paid subscription to I am a paying customer of Car Dealer Pro. And I'm very happy that they use me in their videos. But somebody on Twitter was like pissed off, and this guy's kind of wacky anyway. But he kind of mellowed. I was impressed that he mellowed out, but then I realized, oh no, he's still a dick. I'm trying to find it. Oh, I got pictures to pick up. So he's having a problem on like pricing, and I don't know what he was talking about. So I couldn't help. Like, I'm sorry. And he was actually being nice, so I was being nice back. I said when you start your batch, there's a place to put your price, so it populates in every listing for that batch. He says, thank you. I was 5-0, and now on the next batch, it won't let me click the ready to list. We'll delete and try again. Said he got the same error. Just typed in $1 on every card, and finally it released it. Also, the staggered start time doesn't work, but that's an easy fix. So I think he's trying to do auctions. And I've never tried auctions in Car Dealer Pro. So that's another thing I can't review. And then like several days later, he follows up. Any other help on Twitter for this? Tried the help on Car Dealer Pro. They don't know either. I typed in 39-cent purchase and sale price and still have to manually retype it. Frustrating. I said, I have no idea. Like, I gave the advice I could give. I have no idea. His response, not believable since you're a rep for them. Okay. Like, no, I'm not a rep for them. I simply love their product and I talk about their product. They gave me an affiliate code. I shill their promo code so I can get a little kickback and get some of my money back that I already spend with them. But I can see why people think that. Like, oh, you're on the payroll. I'm not. Brian says, CubsCon Day. If only I was able to attend, I will live vicariously through you. You got to come one year. You've got to just make it happen. Just make it happen. It's a blast. There's actually a group that the year that I was hanging out with the Cubs guys, there's also a group of guys from Carthage that are there. I don't know if you know any guys from Carthage, but the Burling brothers are always there. So hang out with them. They're usually playing cards in the hotel lobby. Shane says you should get a GoPro with a chest strap. I should, man. I really should. I was watching Chasing Cardboard. They released a video this week on like behind the scenes, which was pretty cool. And it showed them like setting up the GoPros and all that. And I'm like, man, I could really use a GoPro. Just for like random, but I don't know how to edit stuff. And I don't know how to, like, I just use like Top Cut or whatever the hell that is. Cap Cut, I think. There's two apps. One I like better than the other. And like, actually the one I use is the one that Carrie, American Arbitrage, told me about. When we were out in Dallas together with Car Dealer Pro. They did pay for my trip out to Dallas for Collecticon. What's it called? InShot. I like InShot better than CapCut. So I just put those together. But yeah, a GoPro with a chest strap. That would be pretty cool. Now Shane, you're spending my money. You're spending my money. I'm going to go to Walmart, get a GoPro. How much? So if I went to Walmart to get a GoPro, how much would it cost? Like $300? I don't want to spend $300. John says, North Korea has your scans. You'll need to pay a ransom to get them back. Well, George isn't too far. Maybe George will be your mule. Like, he's just across the border. So give George a call. Maybe he can help you. Get your scans back from North Korea. Low Roller Scratcher, he's all about Bitcoin. He says, I even warn people when I make a video. I told people, buy Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and altcoin. It's a once-a-lifetime generation wealth. There you go. John wants to know, how much Bitcoin do you own? I'm guessing 0. Mikey's in the house. He says, what am I going to do without Bo in the morning the next 4 days? Is it 4? It's only 3. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm back Monday. So only 3 days without me. Neil's here. He says, don't need ice scraper. De-icer is the best invention. It is a really good invention. Back when I lived in Macomb, I didn't have a garage. So I had to go through that. But yeah, I would have de-icer in the back seat or in the trunk or hatch or whatever you call it. Except there was a lot of ice, you just pour that on so it would melt. And then I had like a de-icer windshield fluid, and that would help on that. Brian says reruns. Yeah, there's going to be 1,079 episodes you can rewatch. Go back to the beginning. Don't. That was brutal. Those early videos. Oof. I think YouTube hides them. Mark says, no Bo for 4 days. No problem. I'll watch reruns. I'm kind of afraid of what I talked about in some of those episodes. I only had like 10 people watching. Shane says, through the scanner app, I believe, and when you save something, they go away for some reason. Okay. So I'm not familiar with the scanner app. The video on Car Dealer Pro showed him transferring a file with scans in it, so that's what I tried doing. I effed it. So they told me, they're like, the app's ready. And I'm like, but I like the website. See, and I'm falling into the trap of like, this is what I know. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm very efficient with what I'm doing. So I just go to cardealerpro.com, log in, and use the website. That's what I do. If anybody in here does use the app, let me know. If anybody does have, I think Craig was asking, Talking Tatis was asking about the app. If you have experience using the app, let us know, because I've never used the app. Bitcoin, there's your Bitcoin update for the day. Mark says, I thought sports autograph lines were brutal. Christmas con lines were like a battle royal. Oh, yeah. I can't. Christmas con, man. I need to see Winnie. Where's Lacey? There's a Jewel Osco and a Whole Foods near the Sheraton. Don't be hauling shit into the city. They're like a far. If it's like snowing a shit ton, plus I'm paying Chicago prices at the downtown Jewels. And Whole Foods, man, I ain't going to Whole Foods. Are you shitting me? I'm hauling shit, man. Whole paycheck. Lizzie McNeil's, thank you. Not Lizzie McGuire's, Lizzie McNeil's. Great little Irish pub across from the Sheraton. I hoof it to Wal. If I go when I pick shit up when I'm there, I go to Walgreens. It's a little further, I think, than it's in the opposite. I think it's in the opposite direction than the Jewels, as they call it in Chicago. Lizzie McNeil's. Shane says I scan raw as well, but then I sleeve. I gotcha. Okay. For some reason, I don't like to have unsleeved cards that are in eBay inventory. I get it. Donald says I've used SGC and tagged with the cards I bought from Bo's eBay store. I got 9s and 10s scanned raw through the Rico 8170. Kyle, good morning. He has smashed the like button. Thank you. Harlan's in the house. Good morning. Neil says, are the templates in Card Dealer Pro already created for you, or do you make them and customize? I customize. So here, I'll show you how to do it. So go into up in the right corner. It should say it probably has an N for your name. It says B for Bo up here. That little down arrow, click on account set. Oh, there's get the desktop app. Account settings. Wait, no, I don't think that's the right one. Oh, it is the right one. So go into account settings. And then over here on the left, go to templates. And then these are your title. These are title. These are all you have to create. I created all of these. Oh, they did pull in my original templates from the old Card Dealer Pro. So this is my baseball. Basically, my baseball tab is I've got player, set, card, variation, number, team, attribute, baseball card. And now that I have this in, I want to throw in parallel. It's not variation. I've got variation. It's subset. There you go. So basically the only difference, baseball is basically, I use my baseball tab as my template, my generic template. So player, set, card, variation. I just now added subset. So that'll throw in like refractor, I think, numerical, team, attribute, and then baseball card. So baseball card comes up in every listing. Now, if it hits the 80 characters, goes over, then I take one of those out, or, sometimes the set is super long. It's like, okay, it doesn't need to be Panini Prism draft picks and prospects and whatever. So I'll edit that. So that's what I use. And then I have these other baseball card without baseball card in the title. I had a whole bunch of vintage football in poor condition. So I had a poor condition wrestling template, in-person autographs. One of the bulk buys at the National had like hundreds and hundreds of in-person autographs. It's like, okay. So I just want a template that has all the settings, and it has in-person autograph in the title. So that's how you do it. So over here, click down, account settings, templates, and then you can create your own. Just add new title template and then name it whatever. Dan's in the house. He says, good morning. They just installed a mailbox across my street. Seems like a big win. Hey, speaking of mailboxes, mail goes up in about 2 weeks. By the way, stamps do not go up this month. Expect a stamp raise, a stamp increase in July, but there is no stamp increase this month. It looks like some of the prices may actually be beneficial for us in terms of if you're shipping priority. I think some of the priority pricing is going down a little bit, but obviously overall prices are going up. Ground Advantage prices will see an increase. Let's just go straight to the horse's mouth on here. USPS January price change. I don't want to download a damn Excel. I was just reading this the other day. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, wait, no. Wait. What is this? Oh, that's October. Maybe stamps are going. I didn't think stamps were going up. According to this, oh, that's Card Dealer Pro. According to this, on USPS frequently asked questions, stamps are going up 2 cents. So the planned shipping and mailing service price changes first class letters 66 cents to 68 cents. So metered mail. So this would be your eBay. So first class. So ESC is 63 cents right now. It would only go up a penny. Let's see. Ground Advantage is so Ground Advantage shipments are going up about 5.4%. Priority mail is going up about 5.7%. So I guess stamps are going up this month. There was another article just didn't even say. Usually that's the first thing when like, oh, postal stamps are going up again, but I guess more people are doing not stamp. I don't know. John says, I find the Tiger Woods era at Nike over to be more shocking than the others. I'm not into golf, so I don't know. That didn't move the needle for me. And how about the LeBron era is over at Upper Deck, which I knew that was coming. I had assumed last year he had a 20-year I assumed he had a 20-year contract with Upper Deck. He signed as a rookie in 2003. When Fanatics got Bronny James, it's like, okay, well, 20 years, I bet LeBron is coming to Fanatics. So yeah, Tiger leaves Nike, LeBron leaves Upper Deck, Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, Pete Carroll. I also hope our politicians take the cue and stop allowing old white fellas of either party to run our country. I agree with that. It doesn't matter what party they belong to. There should be term limits and age limits. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So I'm actually okay with this news. So more news on the Chicago Bears front. Matt Eberflus, safe. The whole offensive coaching, gone. And I'm okay with that. I know I've been like a big critic of Matt Eberflus as the Bears head coach. But as the season wore on, and now kind of reflecting back the last 2 years, the Bears have been bad, no doubt about it. Offense has been brutal. The play calling was atrocious. Like Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator, had to go. Like you could not keep him around. Eberflus, I started to gain some respect for him in the fact that the Bears, while still losing, like never gave up. Like they still played hard despite like did they make mistakes and lose games? Absolutely. But they played hard and they came out and defended their coach. Like it seems like all the players respect him as a coach. The fans, it doesn't seem like the fans respect him, but the players do. They played hard for him. It's like, okay, let's give it a shot. Bring in an offensive coordinator that doesn't suck balls, and we'll see what happens next year. So I'm actually okay with how that transpired. John says, but Rockford has Cubs fans that may go to the convention instead. I don't think it takes away from, it's not going to take away from a card show. There may be a couple, but I don't think it's going to take away. Certainly not, in the Rockford's so far from, like Rockford to Chicago might as well be China. Like Rockford is so far from Chicago that, Rockford people go to Chicago, sure. But vice versa, no. Will the Rockford Cubs fans go to the Cubs convention? Maybe a few, but how many of those would go to the card show? A couple, maybe. I know at least one, me, But I bet I don't see a single person at the Cubs convention this weekend that I would have seen at the card show. Greg says, thank you for the info on Card Dealer Pro. Have a safe trip. Thank you. Appreciate it. Brian says, holy shnikes. Casey is hiring a corporate chief beer and pizza officer. Bo is going corporate. Are they still? I thought they were going after somebody like a pizza taste tester. Maybe that was a taste tester that they were. Hey, my little, what was that bird called? Kyle identified it. He's back. Oh, flew away. Max is here. I'd imagine a Venn diagram of attendees for the Cubs Con and Rockford Card Show doesn't have more than a 5% overlap. Yeah, I wouldn't expect it to have more than a 2% overlap. And I know some diehard Cubs fans at the Rockford Card Show, and they won't be at Cubs convention. John says, Twins have enough fans to have a fest. Twins Fest was arguably it was kind of like in Major League Baseball circles, like Cubs convention and Twins Fest were like the top two fan conventions in baseball. And most teams have done away with conventions and fan fests. Twins Fest is down to a day, I think. And it's kind of a shell of its former self. Flawed Thinker, good morning. Not sure if anybody has mentioned it, but Whatnot is now offering PWE under the same rules as eBay. This is exciting. Well, exciting to me at least. Yeah. More and more I've heard of at least one other platform that is in the works of doing a similar metered mail that is similar to ESE. And I think Mercari already does it? One of those other platforms already does it. I can't remember which one. Mark says, I wish the Sala era would have ended. Dan says, do you think there are more White Sox card collectors or Cubs Cubs by far. Not even close. Not even close. John says, Cubs Nation is much larger than White Sox Nation. I would presume that means more Cub card collectors. Oh, without a doubt. I mean, just look at break prices. And like Cubs prospect, when you look at the prospecting game, it doesn't matter with the Cubs. The Cubs, the best Cubs prospect in a product is going to drive, and it shouldn't be Matt Shaw shouldn't be selling for what he's selling for. But he has the Cubs. It's similar to the Yankees. It's not as big as the Yankees, but it's very similar. John says autos seem to be a huge part of the Cubs convention. That's collector, but auto collectors and card collectors are two completely different. Believe me. Autograph collectors, they're collectors, but autograph collectors don't go to the card shows in our area. Will they go to the Chicago Sports Spectacular? Yes, because there's autographs there and there's more diversity in dealers. Dealers bring memorabilia. Our shows in Rockford, Janesville, Oak Creek, Madison, Janesville, very limited autographs, unless they're Bowman Chrome autos, card autographs. Autograph collectors there's a difference. When a collector is buying a Bowman Chrome auto, he's a card collector that likes the auto. An autograph collector is about memorabilia for the most part, or in person. They're wanting to get this Wander Franco autograph. It's two completely different worlds. My buddy Alex, who I'm going to be hanging out with tonight, Graffer, he's not a card guy. He has 10,000 plus autographed cards, but he's not a card collector. He's come to card shows and he's like, dude, there's no autographs. Now there's autographs, there's Bowman Chrome autographs and stuff like that. That's not what he collects. He wants, let's not use Wander Franco. He wants Adam Duvall, stuff like that. In-person stuff. Two completely different worlds. It's basically the same. It's kind of like when I talked about Pokemon and Magic. I just assume all TCG is the same. Pokemon and Magic the Gathering are two completely, Max, tell me if I'm right or wrong here, but Pokemon and Magic, there's probably not much overlap. I have no idea, but I just assume. Because I have people is there Magic there? I'm like, yeah, sure. There's all kinds of stuff that I don't know about, like Pokemon. I'm sure they have Magic too. No, there's no Magic here. Two completely different things. Bob says autograph people, especially the outside hotel folks, make card people seem normal. Have dabbled in both worlds. I do dabble in both worlds, and I agree 100% with that assessment. John says the Belichick coaching tree is abysmal, which oftentimes means the head coach had complete control. Dave's in the house. I'll see Dave probably maybe tonight if he heads over to the Sheraton tonight. I'll be hanging out, graphing in the lobby. Dave will be at Cubs convention this week. Now Dave wouldn't be at the Rockford Card Show tomorrow, but Dave is a card collector and Cubs convention goer. So there are both worlds that will be at Cubs convention. But Dave, I don't know if you're able to type. I think this is Dave's one day of school this week. He's had snow days the last 2 days, and he's going to Cubs convention tomorrow. So I think he's probably in his truck driving to Bushnell Prairie City High School right now. So he probably can't type much more than I'm here. But I would say there's a very, very, very small percentage of card show people at Cubs convention. Now you got to think of it in these terms. How many card collectors are out there? Thousands, 100,000, 200,000, whatever the number is. Now, how many go to card shows? Like when we talk about like the national, like we, meaning we as YouTube, like we're diehard. There's 71 people. We're diehard card people, or Casey's Pizza, whatever you're here for. We're diehards. Probably a good percentage of the 71 have been to a national before. How many of the general consensus of card collectors have been to a national? Very small. So that's kind of the world of card collectors going to card shows. And now you're in a different world of Cubs convention, which is just a fan convention with autographs and stuff like that. Completely different. How many Cubs fans have been to Cubs? I know absolute diehard Cubs fans who live an hour away from the Sheraton Hotel in downtown Chicago that have never been to a Cubs convention. They're like, oh man, I'd love to go. I've never been. It's just, it's like the national for Cubs fans. A very, very small percent have gone. And you see, it's just like the national. Once you start going year after, you see the same exact people at Cubs convention every single year. It's like, I don't know who they are, but I see them every year. There's a guy who has this huge cooler. I'm pretty sure he works for like a beer distributor because he wears a different like Miller Lite, Coors Light, Bud Light. He wears a different beer shirt every single time I see him, and I see him every time. He looks like the guy, and Dave knows exactly who I'm talking about. He looks like one of the characters on King of the Hill. King of the Hill. I'm going to tell you because I want you to picture. It's not Hank. It's not. I don't think it's Boomhauer. It's not Dale. Oh. Why is he not coming up? He's like one of the main four friends. This guy. Who is this guy? What the hell is his name? Oh, it is Boomhauer. He looks exactly like Boomhauer. And if you don't know who Boomhauer is, it's that guy. That's the guy. He looks like that guy. The guy at Cubs convention. I see him every year. Max says Belichick and Saban are hands down the greatest coaches in their sports. Joe Caprino's here. He says we were in line last year for bingo and someone right at the doors passed out. It was crazy. We ended up leaving. Yeah. Cubs bingo. Thumbs down from me. Shane says, I think I tried downloading that and it's only for Apple right now. I think there is a Windows app now. I think the Windows app is available. Talking Tati says, if you were employed by Card Dealer Pro, you'd be fired. I know. Because I tell people, I told the guy that complained to me on Twitter, I told him to use Chronazio. Like, if you don't like Card Dealer Pro, use Chronazio. Like, see, I'm not on their payroll. Like, if you don't like it, like, I can't force you to like something. It worked great for me. I love Card Dealer Pro. It works amazingly for me. And that's why I want to spread the love. But if you don't like it, if you don't get the same efficiency, love, whatever that I get from it, go use Chronazio. Some people do. It's okay. John says, why are you not getting free scans? I feel they're getting the better end of the deal by far. You do a lot of promo for them. I probably do get some scans that I just don't know about. Max says, 100% John. I feel like he shouldn't be paying anything for the service. Well, thank you. Maybe their accountant is listening. Dan says, I think Cardi the Pro, but you know what? Going back to this, I like paying for the service because I can say, and I can show you my bill. Go see, I was charged this much. And so I don't have to, like, if you come at me and say, oh, you're just feeling for it because they pay you. Nope. I'm a paying customer. See, that's why I don't have sponsors, because I can talk shit and not have to worry about ramifications. Nobody's going to pull their paycheck from me. The money would be nice, though. Not going to lie. Like, hey, a little extra stream of income. Maybe I'm just a dumbass businessman. So I kind of like that. I have that in my back pocket. Oh, yeah? I actually pay them. I know that's dumb, silly, stubborn, but that's who I am too. Dan says, I think Cardi the Pro should give you unlimited scans at this point in time. Seems like it will be a win-win for them and you. I'd rather have eBay give me unlimited free listings. Can we make that happen? Let's work for that. And then we'll talk to Cardi the Pro. Talking Tati says, I'll figure it out this weekend. Just got an all-in-one HP with 23-inch screen for my old eyes. There you go. I love my screen is like a 20. I think my screen's a 23-inch. And it's just because I've been using laptops forever, like small little laptops. And it's like, I come here and it's like, oh, I can see a lot. Minneapolis Kid, what's up? You seem to attract him. Remember that guy a month or two ago that came into the chat and was super hostile and you had no idea who he was? Then he apologized. Yes. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, that was it. He came back like the next day, like, hey man, what's going on? Who are you? And more importantly, who are you talking shit to? I'm more interested in that. Kyle says, maybe this will be the time Jody Davis tells you some Dale Earnhardt. Hey, so Jody's actually pretty tight with a couple of my friends because Jody actually was hanging out with us at the hotel bar last year at CubsCon. So I may have some one-on-one time with him. Talking Tatis says, I can hear you on the customer service line. Hi, can you help with XYZ? No, I don't use that fucking feature, right? Like, see, I can say that. I can say, no, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I don't use that feature. See, I would be a terrible. Oh my God. Me and customer service, oil and water. I wouldn't last 3 hours. Porter, what's happening? Good morning. Shane says 200 to 500, depending which one you get and what they have. Oh, on the GoPros. See, we're way behind on the chat. What time is it? 8:15. Oh shit, we're like 25 minutes behind in the chat. You guys are typing away and you're like, what the hell is he talking about? I said that 30 minutes ago. 200 to 500. Damn. Maybe if I have some time, I'm taking the Harvard train. There's a wall. Actually, maybe I will. I'll stop at the Harvard Walmart because they have a good card section. They always have, like, they were the last honey hole I had before the pandemic where I was getting like 2018 Topps update on clearance. They were like one of the last Walmarts that still had clearance before the pandemic hit. And that was always my little honey hole. And it hasn't been as good, but that's where I'm at, getting on the train. At least I'll be in town. So like if I'm in Janesville, it's like, oh shit, I gotta go. John says, dudes with chest straps look like douchebags. I don't care. I'll wear a fanny pack. I think that's kind of the same douchebaggery. Just get the riot helmet with the mount on top. Brian says, just get a chest strap for your phone or bring an old phone that is just for media. That's a damn good idea. That's a lot cheaper. I didn't know you could do that. Oh, hey, I like these numbers better. Talking Tatis says, Shane, where are you? Let's go back to Shane. Talking Tati says 204 to 225 for GoPro on Walmart. Shane says 2 to 500. Okay, I know 204 and 225 are on the very low end. But I'm thinking like, shit, 2 to 500. I'm thinking 4 to 5. Where's Shane shopping? He's getting $8 Mayo and $500 GoPros. Shane, where are you? You need to move. You're getting ripped off, man. 204 to 225. I can handle that. Okay. Shit. Now Talking Tatis is adding more to my bill. But you will buy the extra straps, cases, etc. So about 300. Okay. But if I could get all that for 300, my wife will be like, I'm like, it's a business expense. I'm taking this video. Like YouTube pays me. I'm getting money from YouTube. So it's a business expense. Which is legit. Like until my accountant says, no, you can't do that. Until that time comes, my accountant will be like, don't put this on me. Porter says, I watched an older Hobby Evolution episode in which Bo was concerned after saying ass. Oh, how times have changed. Oh, yeah. We ripped that Band-Aid off, didn't we? That's funny. You just sold another Bart Simpson card this week. Hey. Brian said, I talked to them. The desktop app is no longer working. Aha. Okay. There you go. So the desktop app is not working. They made one for Mac and working on Windows version. I'm scanning slabs through the Epson app to files, then uploading to Cardi Pro. Okay. John says Chicago prices are cheaper than hauling shit around. Walgreens, the same street as Whole Foods, but further. Yeah, but Whole Foods is fucking expensive. I'm not going to Whole Foods, especially in downtown Chicago. I'll haul shit around. I've got a wheelie luggage in a backpack, and I'll haul shit around. And I only have to haul, like literally, the only hauling I have to do is from my car to the train, and then the train to the cab, and then the cab inside the hotel. Is it kind of a pain in the ass? It shouldn't be. The train shouldn't be too, like if I was going down tomorrow, it would be pretty packed, but I'm thinking at 1:00 on a Thursday, the train down to downtown on a Thursday at 1:00 is not going to be bad. Should be pretty empty compared to when I normally go. Have 1 million Cubs Industries issue per diem and you can spend whatever you want. There you go. Hey, it is a business expense. Oh, just put it on your business card. Here's Pro Bono, doing CDP work for them for free. But I don't care. He says, get paid, brother. Thanks, Brian. It was making me feel stupider than normal. There you go. Okay, so Brian helped us out. The app isn't working, and I'm no help. See, that's not why they're not paying me. Use Carnazio, and I don't know how to use the app. Oh, the app's not working. Don't use Carnazio. Flipping Sports Guy in the house. There is a stamp increase, 68 cents. Yeah. I saw it, like the article just didn't, the first article that I read this week didn't mention that. And then when I went to the frequently asked question page, I saw it. But eBay standard envelope should only be going up a penny. Looks like metered mail is going up from 63 to 64. John says Pirate Ship sent an email out about the ground rates. I've had several instances in the last few weeks where Pirate Ship was way cheaper than the eBay ship. That's interesting because I thought they would get the same deal. In fact, I mean, if anything, I thought eBay would be getting a better deal than Pirate Ship. Max says stamps are going up. They do every year. Now they're going up twice a year, it seems, because we had an increase in July. I wouldn't be surprised if we'll see another increase this July. It's just, at least they're going up. Like it's only a 2 cent increase. It's only a 2 cent increase, and we'll get another 2 cent increase in July probably. So instead of it going up 3 cents a year, it's going up 4 cents a year, but it's split up into 2 times. Neil says stamp prices hiked for third time in less than a year, up 13% since early 2023. And here I am selling 99-cent cards with free shipping. Max says fundraiser for Uncle Joe's island trips. Talking Tati says LRS, I picked up some Bitcoin at 42. Nice to see the bump. Orlando laughs. Flawed Thinker says, I'd like to know how many people send mail and packages using stamps. With technology the way it is, do you think more or less people use stamps? I would think the post office would make shipping cheaper. I mean, it seems like they're losing money every year. It seems like the post office is losing money constantly. So I'm not surprised by the continuing increase postage rates. I don't know about like as opposed to online. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. Max is getting political. Let's see. John says LeBron era never moves my needle. Flawed Thinker says, what would be better to see, LeBron and Bronny playing together or Tiger and his son playing together? Well, I don't care about golf, so I'm all about LeBron and Bronny. I'm all about LeBron and Bronny. John says, wait, LRS made a coherent and topical post. That's your news headline, folks. He did. Low Roller Scratcher brought up the Bears coach first and wasn't just shilling Bitcoin. Flipping Sports Guy says stamps go up faster than Bitcoin. Max says the classic Chicago sports. Oh, here, Max just talking shit. The classic Chicago sports fan flip-flop. I mean, yeah, it happened. Like, I mean, I flip-flop on a lot of things. And like, I'll admit it. Like, you can say it's the classic flip-flop. Okay. I'm okay with it. I would not have been okay with Luke Getsy staying in Chicago. I'm a Justin Fields guy. You've known that. There was a time where I'm like, I don't know if Justin Fields is the answer. A couple of weeks early in the season, I'm like, I don't know if he's. But I'm like, okay, I'm good. John says, I think it's well proven that young quarterbacks with a revolving door of OCs are guaranteed careers. Absolutely. It does suck. I mean, we saw that with not even just a young quarterback. Like, look at Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler had a new offensive coordinator like every single year of his career. That was probably on him. That was probably on Jay Cutler. Junko Bird. Thank you. My little black. We should name him. What should we name our black Junko Bird? We got to have a name for him because he's been back twice now. Now he'll probably never come back. We give him a name, he won't come back. So what should we name our little black Junko Bird? Max says, agreed, John. Next year, the excuse, we have excuses now, will be Fields' team was getting used to the new system, not the fact that they were just a bad team below 500. But, hey, they got Montez Sweat. Bears are going to be better next year. I'm not going to – at this point, I'm not going to go out and say they're going to win a playoff game and go 12 and whatever. Hey, but in July, I might. John says, I guess if all but two teams have done away with their fest, then the Twins would be in the top two. I think Oakland still had. I don't know if there's one this year. They had one last year. I think the Cardinals are down. There's probably a couple Cardinal Whites. I think the White Sox did away with their fan fest. Dan might know. I always get John and Dan confused. But I think White Sox was a pretty popular one. It was a one-day thing. I don't know if Royals 417. I think the Royals have one, but there's not too many teams. A lot of teams just do like little quick hitters. Like Cubs used to do a Cubs caravan where they would bring like 4 or 5 players to Peoria, Springfield, the Quad Cities, Rockford, and do a Cubs caravan. You know, Harry Carey would be there dating the Cubs caravan. Harry Carey and Sean Dunston and, Earl Cunningham, usually a couple players, broadcaster, a couple prospects would go on the Cubs caravan. They did away with the Cubs caravan. I think in the early 2000s, they stopped doing the Cubs caravan. Justin says Southsiders are not card people. White Sox fans collect prison sentences. Ain't that true, says Unicorn Cupcake. Looking forward to seeing Alex's auto collection on Facebook Marketplace. I don't think maybe eventually, but no, he's a hoarder like I am. In fact, when I was probably with Alex at the Beloit Snappers game, and I only go when the South Bend Cubs are in town. And, of course, I have my book that everybody, you're just one of those graphers, getting all those. So there's a grumpy old guy behind me. He's like, what do you do with all those? Sell them on eBay? I'm funny. I'm like, no, I keep them. And then I think I had my sign, and I'm like, I collect Cubs cards too. This is how many I have. And then he turned, and then he's like, oh. And then he started being, he wasn't the grump ass that he was. Are you selling those on eBay? Shut up, old man. Justin says, you making the pilgrimage to Lizzie's on Friday night. I may be there, blizzard pending. I don't think so. I'm not like, that's just not. The funny thing is, so you probably know Crawley. Crawley's a good buddy of mine, one of my roommates for Cubs, along with Dave Arnold, who was in the chat earlier. So the three of us room, and we have kind of our own cliques. Crawley does the Friday night Lizzie thing, and I'm just not into that. Like, I'll hang out with the like I'm kind of in the grapher clique, and we'll kind of hang out in the hotel lobby on Friday night. On Friday nights, I used to go to Kerry Wood's thing. So actually, I think last year was the first convention after COVID. I think so. So Kerry Wood fundraiser doesn't happen anymore during Cubs. They had one, but it was in like May last year at Wrigley. So Dave and I would go to the Kerry Wood thing out at Harry Carey's, which was freaking awesome. So I never got into doing the Lizzie thing on Friday night. And then last year, I think I just hung out at the hotel bar with, they did Harry karaoke at the hotel bar. I think I just hung out there and watched Gary Matthews sing karaoke, which, by the way, is a good singer, Gary Matthews. Sarge. Max says autograph collectors are the reason why the shittiest product ever was released. Archives Signature Series, sub $5 card. Throw it in a mag, slap a sticker, and charge $60 a box. I would agree that it is the worst product out there. Blaine says, did you watch the Scotty T live stream? Scotty T. Oh, no! I didn't. Was it good? I saw it pop up last night. I saw it pop up on YouTube, and I'm like, shit, I missed it. What time is it? Shit, it's 8:30. I'm like, shit, I missed it. So yeah, Scott Taylor, Scotty T _breaks or whatever. I was shilling for him. I wanted to get him to 50, and I didn't even watch the video. So I'll watch that. Maybe I'll watch it on the train ride today. Speaking of, I need to make a list of things that I'm going to forget. Cash. Ice scraper. And headphones. I should make sure they're charged first. All right. So got my list. I got most everything packed up last night. Made my Target run to haul shit around. Talking Tatis says process servers trying to get Wander Franco autos in its own category. Max says Pokemon and Magic have less overlap than baseball and football. I'm counting how many times my bad takes make Bo swing in his chair. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you something, John. Victor says, I'm 30 minutes away and been to Cubs convention once. I had a great time. See, Victor's a huge Cubs fan. 30 minutes away one time. There's Dave. Most of the Cubs con goers are Cubs, not hardcore card collectors. Yeah, absolutely. They have some cards, but mostly they are just plain Cubs fan. That's a really good, Dave put it much more eloquently than I could. That is a really good way to put it. It's just diehard Cubs fans, not card collector. It's not a card collector. It's not a card collector deal. And that's why most people like look at my sign and they're like, what's that? Like, well, this is how many Cubs cards I have. Baseball cards? Yeah. You got any duplicates? And sometimes like the like you know it's like somebody who doesn't know anything about baseball cards. They're like, you have any Ryan Sandberg cards? Do I ever? I do have some Ryan Sandberg cards. Bill. Is that what we're naming the bird? Bill. Talking Tatis. Bill the bird? I like it. Bill the Junko bird. I had $10 to buy my first non-pack opened card. I had the choice of Jerome Walton, Rookie of the Year, or Ken Griffey Jr. Ooh, you made a wise choice. I'm like, oh, he's going to buy the Jerome Walton. I ended up buying the Griffey for $9, and Jerome was never heard from again. Jerome comes to Cubs convention sometimes. He's not on the list this year, but I think he was there last year. Dave says, beer shirt guy reminds me of a combo of Boomhauer and Bono. That's a good combo. Bono and Boomhauer. See, but these are like CubsCon, like it's almost like CubsCon celebrities, like the beer shirt guy. I was in line with I was in an autograph line and I'm just chatting, older guy. I don't know what we were talking about. But he says we get to talking about. I think I was taking his picture or something, and anyway, he has a SAG card, and so he's like, yeah, I was a background actor in a lot of stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, and he goes, have you ever seen Home Alone? That question to me is like asking if I have any Ryan Sandberg cards. Have I seen Home Alone like 17 times this year alone? I've seen Home Alone. Yes, I've seen Home Alone. I can probably still recite the entire movie line by line. And he goes, do you remember the grocery store scene? Again, do you have any Ryan Sandberg? Of course I remember the grocery store scene. He goes, the girl checking him out at the cash register, the girl running the cash register, behind her was a man who was the store manager. And I think briefly there was a scene where she like turned around to ask the manager something. He is the manager in Home Alone, the grocery store manager in that scene. He had the lines, the cashier asked about like, where's your mom? Where's blah, blah, blah. And that was actually in the like preview or the trailer to the movie. But it was the store manager asking those questions, the guy that I met at Cubs convention. And so sure enough, I looked it up and you can see the video. So you get to meet like some cool people. Like you're just waiting in line. Georgia, our friend Georgia, she's like this sweet little old 85-year-old lady with Cubs earrings, and she just hangs out all by herself. Her husband was Mike Shanahan's football coach in high school. And it's just these stories. People have fascinating stories. And that's one part of Cubs convention that I love. You get to meet these people. Sometimes it's just from the periphery. Like I see beer shirt guy 3 lines over in the Ray Burris line. Like, oh, what's he wearing today? He's wearing a Miller Lite shirt today. But I know nothing about him. But then you get to meet ladies like Georgia. Like my husband was a Hall of Fame high school football coach and he coached Mike Shanahan. Like that's fascinating. You meet the store manager from Home Alone and find out his scene was cut. Just people are fascinating in small doses. Like I don't, it's like, I just need alone time. Like leave me alone. I need to go back to the room and just me time for an hour. Raphael, what's up? Hey now. He says, Raphael and cousin Nadia, sorting and listing and sorting. Very cool. Flipping Sports Guy says, Bo's the perfect employee. He has no idea what the company is giving him. See? You just play dumb. TD Sports Card, what's going on? Orlando says, Bo pushes CDP more than their salesman. Definitely need to get it all free. John says, Shane paying Chicago Whole Food prices. Shane's shopping at Whole Foods. He's buying his GoPros at Whole Foods. And he's getting that fancy mayo at Whole Foods. Talking Tati says, use a Ghetto Pro, an old cell phone, electrical taped to your chest. Sports card ripping teacher, what's up? By the way, I'll be driving through Bigfoot today. I wore my wife's Lululemon strap thing to the National. My shirt covered it, so no one really saw it. I loved it. It was so easy to get my money in cards I was handing out. Unicorn cupcake seems like an oxymoron to call it a fanny pack. Never understood. I never realized that until you just pointed that out. Yeah, it doesn't go on your fanny. Low Rollers got some tax advice for us. Buy the GoPro as a tax write-off. You don't have to pay taxes. This is how you cheat the IRS. Okay. Good morning, Brian. Just finished dropping off my kids at daycare. Hope there is plenty of show left. Now we're wrapping it. Well, you typed that in at 8:18, so you got an extra at least 20 minutes ahead of that comment. Have we checked the car yet to make sure it turns on? That's a really good point. Because last year I had to rent a car just to drive to the train station because my battery was dead. I did drive my car yesterday. I did open the back hatch, and that's what led to my battery dying last year because the hatch didn't close or didn't latch. So the light or whatever was on. I never noticed it. But I did, like my beer and Gatorade. It's like, I'll just leave this in my car. I don't even have to bring it into the house because it's cold enough to sit in my car. LRS, that's not cheating the IRS. That's balancing income and expenses. Sports card ripping teacher, over under on times you hear the Bucket Boys this weekend. Who are the Bucket Boys? The Bucket Boys. Brian says 68 cents. Yuck. It'll be $1 by 2026. We're at 2024. I think it'll be 70 cents. I think there's probably another increase in July coming. 70 cents. But I mean, who knows? Like with inflation, it wouldn't surprise me if stamps go up to like a standard, like up to 3 ounces. It's going to be like the base price is going to be like $1.10, regardless of it's 1, 2, or 3 ounces. That's my fear. That's my fear. Hopefully it's just me being scared. I don't know. Andy Mack says eBay probably gets as good or better pricing than Pirate Ship. eBay chooses to pocket the money. Ooh, that's a good point. Because, yeah, I can't imagine eBay or Pirate Ship getting a better deal than eBay. Just with the massive. I know Pirate Ship gets a lot of volume, but go ask 10 people if they've heard of Pirate Ship, and I bet you 9 people have never heard of Pirate Ship. Brian says, I always check Pirate Ship versus eBay. It doesn't happen very often, but it has happened. Let's see. John says, no flip Max. They just flop in Chicagoland. John Larson is here. He says, Postal Service is a very poorly run organization. Privatize. It is very, very poorly run. Brian says, Junko Bird should be called Junkie or Junkwax. Junkie the Junko. I like that. We had a couple bill vote. Junkie the Junko Bird. I kind of like it. Junkie. Maybe King's Landing is trying to send you a message via that Junko Bird. Postal rates keep rising because their pension plans are like Otani. Have they done away with the full cavity search upon entrance to the White Sox Fest? Can't call it a con as it would hit too close to home. The rates keep rising because funding to USPS keeps getting cut. Cardinals have the winter warm-up. Then there's the DeWitts tell us that they don't have any money to spend. Oh, that's where the DeWitt, yeah. Can't wear your douchey GoPro bra if you're wearing your card meter. Oh, damn. That's a good point, John. I didn't take that into consideration. Maybe I will have to get a helmet. Do they have like head strap, like look like a coal miner? You do realize you are in the small minority of graphers. They're right. Most are out for nothing but the money. So the old guy does have a basis. There's probably some truth to that. I do know like a couple of guys that I graph with do not do it for the money. Are there? Yes, there are guys. I will tell you this though. Most people get a bad rap. Like if you're graphing at Beloit South Bend, if you're graphing like Adam Lasky, like you're not doing it for the money. Like I could put my in-person autographs on eBay for $2. Like, I mean, they're going to sell slower than Wander Franco cards at the same price. Are there guys that, I mean, minor league games are a little different. Like spring training, sure, there's a lot of guys that are out there for money, but I think it gets a bad rap because there may be one out of a group of say 10. 1 out of 10 are actually flipping them on eBay. I would tell you that a majority at minor league games, a majority of the autographers are collectors / hoarders. They're not selling them on eBay. Now, do some, like if it's a top prospect, like, ooh, I can flip this on eBay. Yeah, there's some of that. But for the most part, it's a lot of just guys that like, I've met many at various minor league ballparks that I've autographed at. And there always seems to be like one old guy that has like 50,000 autographs. Like I've got 37,000 autographs. I've been doing this since 1974 and he's got 100,000. He's like, my kid doesn't want them. Well, does anybody, do you have any 1987 Cubs guys that never made it past AA? Because those are the ones I want. So I need to because that's I'd rather have a 1987 Brad Beerley autograph from the Winston-Salem Spirits than I would a 29th Steve Trout, Sean Dunston, Bob Dernier autograph. Porter says we still have Cardinals Caravan, which has 6 different markets they visit. Kate gets Caravan. Number 6, Tink Henson, Alec Burleson are the best they sent this far south. Blaine says it was good. He gave away some cards. Got a Wander Franco auto. John says, speaking from experience, background actors, human props are the most needy people in the entire world. Max is with us. Good morning. What about the Chicago late Cubs signed lately? Shota Imanaga. I'm a big fan. And the contract, apparently Shota Imanaga's been in Chicago since Christmas. He's been there for 2 weeks. He must like the city. Let's see. Unicorn Cupcake says, I think he means outside Wrigley Field, the kids that play the 5-gallon buckets. Okay. Gotcha. Bigfoot. I'll be driving through Bigfoot. Doug Coyte's pumping. Bucket Boys play the drums on the Home Depot buckets. Oh, okay. All right. So Shane says the new GoPro 12 Black is on Walmart right now for $350, marked down from $399. And there are head straps you can wear around your hat. Oh, okay. You don't need a helmet. But what if I wanted a helmet? What about a batting helmet? I could buy a game-used batting helmet in the Cubs charity room and strap my GoPro to a batting helmet. Max is correct. Autos are the new hobby commodity. Shane says, I have a douchey set up for fishing trips. You can get a bunch of douchey attachments as well for it, like mini tripods or an extender, as well as chest and head straps. All about it. All right, I've got to go. So thanks for tuning in. We've gone an hour and 40 minutes. I've got some shipping, last-minute shipping. I got down to 0 last night. By the time I wrapped up my shipping, I got to 0. By the time I shut the lights off and went upstairs and hit the couch, I was already at 3 orders to ship. But it's I kind of need, it's kind of like how I make a living is selling cards. So I kind of need that number to go up. But I'm back up to, I got 40 orders to ship right now. So got to get those and then take off at about 11. Follow my journey. I always say every year at Cubs Convention, I'm going to do some videos and I don't do it. So don't expect any Cubs Convention videos. Don't expect me to go buy a GoPro. But if I have time, I'm going to go to Walmart, check them out. It's do I really want to spend $300 ahead of spending whatever I spend this weekend? Although I could use it at spring training. Maybe. We'll see. All right. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter. I will be tweeting a lot of shit from Cubs Convention if you're interested. Most of you probably don't care. But if you do, I will be tweeting. Brian cares. He's going to be living vicariously through me at Cubs Convention. So I will be tweeting. I'll try to post a couple things on the Hobby Evolution Facebook group as well. If you're not in the Facebook group, check it out. Hobby Evolution on Facebook. Brian, before we go, says, I'm here to tell you there are multiple options in Madison that will allow you to clip your phone to a backpack strap or a hat or a chest. Then you don't have to upload the data from the GoPro to edit. Oh. Victor says, tweet away. Shane, you as well. I like what Brian's saying here. That way it's already on my phone. All right. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Again, no Hobby Evolution tomorrow, Saturday, or Sunday. Back on Monday morning, 7 a.m. Central. But follow my adventure on Twitter this weekend. Have a great day, and I'll see you Monday.